Grace and peace. This week we're talking about the image of God. And I have to start with Genesis 1 and Genesis 1:27 in particular, right? The image of God as given to us through creation. As I'm thinking of how we would talk about the being created in the divine image, I work through mostly either process theology or systematic theology. And process theology is the process, seeing things that way. Systematic theology might not be quite so easily understood. So I'll provide a textbook definition, which of course is going to be incredibly helpful and just great, right? So systematic theology draws on the core sacred texts of Christianity while simultaneously investigating the development of Christian doctrine over the course of history. Through philosophy, ethics, social sciences, and even the natural sciences. Using all of our biblical texts, it attempts to compare and relate the scriptures, which led to the creation of a systemized, I wouldn't do that, mind you, because now it's a tautology using the word in the definition, but never mind, a systemized statement on what the whole Bible has to say about particular images. Fine. So here's what that really means. Okay, so if we believe, and I do, that we are created in the divine image, and if our image of God isn't really something that we have, it is actually the essence of who we are, then this isn't something that we possess, right? So humanity doesn't possess this. It's this condition under which we live, in which we exist. And it's established, it's maintained by God, our creator, right? So when God created us, we are created in the divine image. It is who we are. And sin, if you will, sin does not take that away. It doesn't change it. Or another way to phrase this, if you want to speak like a textbook, you'd say this: since man has sinned, he certainly is not fully like God as he was before. His moral purity has been lost, and his sinful character does not reflect God's holiness. His intellect is corrupted by falsehood and misunderstanding. His speech no longer continually glorifies God. His relationships are often governed by selfishness rather than love, and so forth. I love that Wayne Grundim actually put "so forth" in his explanation, because you know that that's what I would say, if not blah, 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 right? So all that's saying is that no matter how we sin, no matter who we are, we cannot erase the image of God from within us, which is why from the earliest stages, we should try to help kids understand that that image of God and the love can't be taken away. So if we understand God as parent, then kids begin to get that from their parents. So I always used to read, Liam, this really cool book that says, I love you, remember I love you, and it translates into God's love. It gave these great images and said things like, if you're wearing your mismatched sneaker style, you got bits of breakfast in your smile, I love you. It had, the kid and the mom. If the kid is collecting things and has a piece of bark, and that's going to be a dinosaur skin being created, they're singing off key together. And the young child, He fell like, and the mom says, I remember what that feels like. I'll help you. And then the last one, because especially if we're talking about sin and, just that's yucky, it says, you didn't like it when I had you get a shot, and I didn't like it when you colored on the wall and made blue dots. On each page, it's that reminder, I love you. I love you. I love you, right? God loves us. We are created in the divine image. God's image not only is God, and we can see God in so much, we see God in one another, and children should understand how much we see the divine image in each one of them, and that they are loved. And each one that you see, no matter who they are, no matter what they're doing, they're created in the divine image. Imago Dei. God is within each one of us. It is the essence of who every human being is. Always has been, always will be, especially each day in this time. May we remember that and treat one another as such. God bless you today.